Okay, I hope I can make this clear and hope people can follow it. I've got the tank, this tank that goes in here. The easiest thing was to do was just get the guy to fold it and put the length in. The problem is we've got this. Now the biggest problem was, how do I work out how much to cut off the bottom to make it fit? So what I did was I measured how high I come above there, or how far I want the tank below here, because you've got to hang it and you've got stuff coming out like the fuel sender unit, so you've got to have some gap on the top. I worked out 90 mil, has to be 90 mil approximately. That with 90 mil, that includes a bit of space underneath the tank so it doesn't hit on the hull. So I measure there, and then what I did was I measured out, come out here with a ruler. Tank's about 270 deep. Add 60 is 90, sorry, is 360. So I come out here, measured down until I hit the hole 360. Then I marked it, so I know then from the edge of the tank to here, that's how far I've got to come out. Same on this side. Come out, it turns out, got to come right off the corner here of the tank. So then basically on the tank, from this corner, the sun's in the road, measure up 90 mil, come out to that line, and that's where it's got to cut to. So that whole corner's got to get cut off. Then same here, I know that here I've got to cut from here to here. Sorry, I can't see the shit. Take that corner out, and that's pretty much should be enough to cut to make that fit both sides. Now I don't have anybody to teach me this stuff. I could be wrong, but I have a fair idea that's what's got to happen. That'll take that whole corner out. I'll weld the ends on, and then cut the end to suit, and then I can measure up. I can measure up what's left, flat plate, and weld that in both corners. Takes a bit of fuel out, but in reality, it's really not going to be that much. Still going to be a big tank for us, for the size of the boat, but the people want fuel capacity, and that's what they're going to get. Thank you. Well, I've got the sides on. They're cut. Sorry. They're cut. Got one of these cut. Done a template, which turns out will fit both sides. Just about to mark this out and cut it, and weld them in, or at least tack them in. My last video had no sound because I used a different app, and I had it hooked to external mic, and I didn't have that hooked up. So instead of going from here, I'm going to put a breather pipe from here right through to the other end, rather than cutting more out of the bottom to try and get it to fit on this side. What I'm going to do is I'm going to I'm going to actually take them off and move them down, which will lift the whole tank up, which will put a fall on it down to this side. So the air will come up this end anyway, so this is where the breather needs to be, rather than having to put two on, which is possible, which a lot of big tanks have. I don't think it's necessary because it's going to come from this end anyway, go down the other end and come out straight out the end. That's the easiest thing to do. I'm going to have the filler pipe come from here, which actually I'll have to do before I tack that on. Come at an angle so that when they slosh, it'll be on an angle and it won't have so much fuel coming up. There's 2 baffles in it. 1, 2, they're all secure. I don't think I did anything on them, but I'm gonna actually I might cut them all off and just lower it a little, or lower these so it rises it a little, bit more room underneath, and put some angle in the middle. So I've just put them on. I ran out of angle, so I have to go and get some at some stage of the day, but we're going to change that around. It's got your pickup, your hole for your sender, and a hole that I cut too big for the sender, so I've welded it up. There's no dramas, it won't cause any problems. So that's where I'm up to. Ends are on, and yeah, I've got to work out the filler. That's the next thing I've got to work out before I put the ends on, because I like to do all the drilling and tapping before I close the tank up, because it's easier to get the crap out and wipe it out. So that's where we're up to. I can't see this too well, but it's there. I had to take the 2 supports out, which I'll weld back in. Setting up the inlet, thinking the hose won't bend enough to get that up in there. So I had to find something that'll bend a bit better. Halfway there went, fuck, I'm an idiot. I can just make a bend and get it up where I need to. So that's what I'm going to do. Pull that out. Oh, don't need to pull it out. Just I'll go and do make up a bend so that we can get that up underneath the gun wall, and then we'll go. Just pressure testing the tank. A lot of the welds on the bottom don't look flashy, but they're not in the ideal position. So just do a little bit heavier on them, and yeah, it'll, like, a few small little leaks as the arrows show, but I'll go back over them and then there won't be any leaks. Not flashy, but once it's in, nobody will know, and it'll be solid. It's all good. Starting to put this tank in now. I haven't put the fuel sender in, which is one of the next things. I've got the inlet on. I don't normally use this brown aviation stuff on it, but the last boat I had here, it actually had it on there, so I thought I'll put a bit on there. I just bought some yesterday, so run the hoses, put the fuel sender in, make sure it, like, screw this all in, clean this all up, put in the fuel filter, which I got, and the tap down the back, and we'll sort that out. I'll get this whole front done back together, and okay, go from there. I'm up to welding the supports back in and do a bit of cleaning up, and then I can put that all back together. That'll be done in the morning. I don't feel like pulling the welder out right out here. If I could get the boat closer, I would do it. Got to go and get some stainless bolts for the filter to put it up on the edge. I've got to put it up here, just because there's nowhere else to put it. It's going to be a busy corner. The fuel tap, go from one tank to the other. Once the thing's in, yeah, it's pretty much almost done. The breather's done, and yeah, the primer bulb will be outside now, because I'll you can't see, pull it out and bring it back over, otherwise I'll have to cut a piece out of the floor, and I'd rather not do that. So that'll be all, it'll come up over to the fuel filter and should be finished. I got the cross members back in. I don't know if I can see that. Yeah. I got the cross members back in. Bit of a boo-boo. The fuel line on this side hit the aluminium when it was a bit warm, so I'm gonna have to just cut it and join it. Made up a bend, a piece of tube with a couple of bends, which sits it right down exactly where it goes under the other piece. So I'll put some zip ties. I'm going to put zip ties on it, but I'm going to put clamps on it, and then they will be ready to put back together. The back, it's just about ready to go back together. It's pretty busy. It's a tight corner and not much room to go doing much, so we'll just put it back together and see how it goes. A charter boat. Except for a bit of a cleanup, just a vacuum. I could bring the vacuum out either this afternoon or tomorrow. Gotta polish that up. It says diesel, but it's petrol, so I give it a bit of a clean up, bit of grass and shit lying around. Brand new fuel filter, water fuel separator. Absolutely must have one on, or you really need them. Tap running 2 tanks rather than unplugging one and plugging in the next. Turn the knob, you got the next fuel tank. All concealed underneath. This one, it's filled from the tank, so that's underneath there. I'm not going to pull it out now, but just to clean up, and she's ready to go. I hope Anne and Sully's happy with it. No wonder I couldn't find the screws. Crazy.